Good morning, everyone. It is Friday. Woo! All right, we still have some folks getting some food, but I want to thank Abaz and the team in the back for getting up early, making us breakfast. As always, you guys are the best. Thank you. And Bella, over here to my right, GCTV, sharing this with all those folks who couldn't make it this morning. So extra bonus, thank you. I also wanted to thank our generous sponsor, Jessica O'Neill. And I've got to be careful how I say this, because my father has taken what I normally say, and he's turned it into, I'm going to the co-op. That's how I grew up. So now it's the Greenfield Farmers Cooperative Exchange. So welcome. And just channeling today's theme, and I did run this by Ben, and he laughed, so please laugh. Channeling today's theme, what happened when the farmer crossed a chili pepper, a shovel, and a terrier? He got a hot diggity dog. What kind of things does a farmer talk about when he's milking cows? Utter nonsense. You were close, but everyone's sort of gotten close to that one. So I'm just going to say, Jessica, you're up next, and good luck topping that.
Thank you so much. Can you all hear me? Great. Good morning, everybody. Thank you to the Chamber, and thank you to all of you for being here today. My name is Jessica O'Neill. I'm the proud president of the Board of Directors of the Greenfield Farmers Cooperative Exchange. We're really honored to be sponsoring today's breakfast. The Greenfield Farmers Co-op exists because of farmers and for farmers. It exists because of community and for community, for all of you. We're a member-owned cooperative that's been around since 1918, and we've been helping farmers to get what they need to keep their businesses and their families and their livelihoods going strong for over a century. We were started by dairy farmers, and needless to say, there are less dairies today than there were when we got started. And we've shifted to become, So we were started by dairy farmers. There are less dairy farmers today than there were in the past. There are also less farmer co-ops, farmer member-owned co-ops. Many of the stores like ours have become consumer-owned co-ops, and we're really proud to be standing strong today, continuing to be a farmer-owned co-op, continuing in the footsteps of the dairy farmers who started us so long ago. But our store isn't just for farmers, it's for you, it's for the public. Who here shops there? Wonderful, I love to see all those hands. For anyone who hasn't shopped there, we welcome you to come in. Today's a great day to come visit our store. The shoes I'm wearing today, which are super comfortable boots, I bought at the store. You can really find almost anything there. Even if you don't have a four-legged animal or a two-legged animal, you can find something for yourself. So, we love being a place where our whole community can come together, where they can connect, where they can support local agriculture, and to pick up what they need for those two-legged friends, for those four-legged family members, and to make all their homesteading dreams come true. So anyone here tried their hand at backyard chickens? We probably helped you out. We'll be here when you want to try it again. We're incredibly proud of our staff. The breadth and depth of their knowledge helps to answer all of your questions, and they're there to support you at whatever stage you are in your farming journey or your homesteading journey. We're proud of our longstanding roots in this region, of our non-traditional scholarship program that helps to help young people and older people who are pursuing a future in agriculture to get there. We're proud of the support that we give to youth programs like 4-H. And these things really matter to the co-op. And they matter because stronger farms create stronger communities. They keep land in production, and they support local jobs, and they build a resilient food system, and that's the food system that feeds us and our friends and our neighbors every single day. And at the same time, I want to acknowledge that this is a challenging time. It's a challenging moment for agriculture. So whether you're a farm that's global or national or local, you're dealing with shifting trade conditions, tariffs, policy changes, and it's a lot. It's a lot on a job that's already hard, and it's a lot in an industry. It's a lot on an industry that's already difficult. So when systems, these larger systems, become unstable and erratic, It's local networks and local communities like this one, and especially co-ops like ours, that become even more important. So our co-op's commitment is pretty simple. We stay steady, we stay reliable, we remain community focused, we remain a community resource for all of you in whatever way you need us. We return patronage to our farmer members when we can. We invest in youth because they're our future. We support organizations doing good work around our region. And we do our best to help farmers not just to get through the hard times, but to thrive through them. So the world keeps changing, right? Nothing stays the same. And we're going to keep adapting. Farmers are some of the best at adapting. They do it all the time. The co-op's been doing it for over 100 years. We'll do it for the next 100 years. Thank you. But despite all the change, I do hope, and we hope, that there's one thing that remains constant, and that's our shared belief in the value of local agriculture and cooperative systems, cooperative models. Because farming is more than what happens in the field, right? It's more than just the production numbers that we track every single day, because farming supports our economic and our social and our environmental well-being for this region, for our community that we live in. So, I'm grateful to be here with you. I'm grateful to all of you who support local agriculture. Keep doing it. Please come in and visit our store. Come talk to us. And thank you for your time, and thank you for supporting local agriculture.
Thank you, Jessica. A big, big thank you to Jessica, Jeff, Pamela, the team, and all the members at Greenfield Farmers Cooperative Exchange, both for their continued support of this breakfast and, of course, for their ongoing invaluable support to agricultural communities across the region. Can we give them one more round of applause? All right, so welcome everybody. Thanks so much for being here. Can you believe this is our third Growing Our Economy breakfast? I know, three. And November feels, especially this November, it feels like the perfect time for this breakfast because I think we're all increasingly aware of and grateful for the many ways that farms and food and agricultural systems kind of weave their way through almost every rural economic sector. We're gonna hit year 3 on a high note because we've got Clark Dill cider, which is the best. And we've got a speaker lineup that might just be the cream of the crop. I'm gonna make Wade look good. But before we hear from them, we are going to welcome some new friends who are attending their first chamber breakfast. So please stand or wave when I call your name. Welcome to our new members, Jan Maher and Claire Whitty from Local Access of Valley Arts, aka the Lava Center. Welcome to Stephanie Cormier and Meryl Gray, who are joining us from the United Arc. Welcome to Robin Abel from my alma mater, Stoneleigh Burnham School. Lainey DeCourcy is joining us from the Resilience Center of Franklin County. And speaking of the Resilience Center of Franklin County, a big congratulations to Executive Director Amanda Sanderson, who was just selected as Business West 2025 Women of Impact alongside Greenfield Savings Bank Tara Brewster. It's a big deal. Franklin County is well represented in those awards. We are excited to celebrate both Tara and Amanda on December 9th, and there are tickets still available, so you can go to Business West if you want to join us. Welcome to Allison Reingold, who's joining us from Four Rivers Charter Public School. A big welcome to my friend Ryan Cleary from Franklin Regional Council of Governments. Is this actually your first chamber breakfast?
20-some years.
Wow! Look at that! That is really something. Amazing. Anthony Rybar is here from GCC. Welcome, Anthony. And Angela Campbell and Kwaku Ofori are joining us from the from Franklin County CDC. There you go. And then we'd also just like to extend a huge congratulations to United Arc Executive Director and Franklin County author Fred Warren. a big week for Fred. His book, Deadline Dallas, hit shelves on Tuesday. And if you look at the back of your program, you can see you can scan that QR code. You can pre-order, or you can order one now. You can also join the first ever Franklin County Book Club. Do you see what it's called? Chapters of Commerce. That's pretty good. So this is going to be the least intense book club you'll ever join. You just read at your own pace, and then sometime in January we're going to get together and talk about the book. If we play our cards right, Fred might be willing to stop by. If you don't want to wait till January, you can stop by the Jujuke Theater tonight at 5. Fred is holding a book signing and answering some questions about that book. So congratulations again to Fred. Also, let's not forget that November is the perfect time to buy hardcover books, gently read them, and then gift them in December. So, just saying, it's a gift with twice the impact. We are thrilled to have a number of new faces today, but I do want to pass along the regrets of Chamber Breakfast regular and Clarkdale Cider superfan, Commissioner Ashley Randall. She couldn't join us today. She's actually busy representing us at the Mass Food Systems Collaborative Forum in Worcester. I think actually John and Jennifer are headed there right after this. So Ben, we're going to send them with some cider for Ashley. So we're going to get that going. But the good news is that we do have some very special guests with us today. We are lucky to be joined by two of the hardest working legislators in the State House, and that is, of course, Representative Natalie Blais and Senator Joe Comerford. And just in case you didn't think they already did enough, as a reminder, Rep. Blais serves as the chair of the Joint Committee on Agriculture, and Senator Comerford currently serves as the vice chair of the Joint Committee on Agriculture and Fisheries. So they really talk the talk, walk the walk. We are so unbelievably grateful to have them. So thank you both for being here. All right, we've got a number of announcements, but don't worry, because I'm gonna plow right through them. All right, first, there's so many, friends, just get ready. We already know that you're star quality, and now the Greenfield Business Association wants to help you make it official with the sponsored Downtown Holiday Star. You can choose between 3 levels of sponsorship, and if you sign up before this Sunday at noon, your star will be seen by thousands of folks who are driving by between now and February's Winter Carnival. It's going to be installed in time for Small Business Saturday, and then again, those stars are going to stay up for a couple of months. So it's a really great opportunity to kind of showcase your support and commitment to Franklin County and our business community. Every dollar goes to lighting up downtown, so we hope you'll join us. I signed us up yesterday. So if you want to grab a star, you can visit the GBA website, or you can talk to Hannah. Hannah, where are you? There we are. All right, fantastic. And speaking of stars, I don't know if you heard the big news, but our very own Real Pickles will be featured on CBS Sunday Morning this Sunday. I know. The CBS team visited last week to meet the real awesome Real Pickles team. The interview, again, airs this Sunday at 9, so be sure to watch that segment and grab Kate Hunter's signature in advance. It's going to be worth something. And I don't know if you were paying attention, but we did a similar, like pretty much the same exact interview 2 years ago, so just saying. All right, Moonlight Magic is scheduled for November 28th from 4 to 9 in downtown Shelburne Falls. If you haven't been, this is a really great year to go. Moonlight Magic turns 40 this year. Yeah, which I think we can all agree is not old at all. It's actually very, very, very young. But if you haven't been, this event feels like a Hallmark movie. It is one of my favorite events of the year. Kate Chadwick is here. She's on the committee. She's also the chair of the Shelburne Falls Steering Committee. Kate, where are you? There you are. If you have any questions or you want more information, chat with Kate. But this is a free event. It's just great, so I hope you'll join us for that. And then also the March for the Food Bank is Monday and Tuesday of this week. This is a great opportunity to support the Food Bank of Western Massachusetts. Yeah, we can give them a round of applause. And also many of the people in this room, because if you know, the food bank often, most likely buys its food from local farms. Also, there's a number of us here that are planning to walk on Tuesday and do the 20, it's supposed to be 24 miles. It's not, it's close to the 21, I track it every year. From Northampton to Greenfield. So you can visit the food bank website, find a friend you want to support, throw them a couple of dollars, cheer them on, and let's support the food bank of Western Massachusetts. Yes, Ben Clark will be there with his shopping cart, as always, as will Senator Comerford and Natalie Blaze. Anyone else walking with us on Tuesday? And Kate, yep, great, fantastic, yep. Great, and then, yes, we get stone soup at the end. I actually still have my blister from last year, so do not be surprised if we stroll up and I'm in Ben's shopping cart. All right, Light Up the Fairgrounds is back weekend starting November 28th. We're setting up first chamber display on Saturday, which my husband doesn't know about yet, so be sure to swing through and see what we come up with. But this is, again, really great event. You can vote for us as your favorite. Is Michael Nelson here?
Yep.
Are there prizes for the best light display?
$750 for the first place.
That's amazing.
And,
That,
I think it's, now I'm not sure. Now I feel like I'm making numbers up.
that's okay.
There's cash prizes for sure.
Fantastic. $750 could buy some really nice raffle prizes, so keep that in mind. Greenfield Jingle Fest also kicks off December 6th and 7th, and all kinds of new activities, carriage rides down Main Street. How fun will that be? Wreath making, live musical performances, and my favorite, the Jingle Fest Amazing Race. Sign up for the Amazing Race. It is so fun. Thank you to Christy and the Greenfield Brook Elves who have been planning that for weeks. Is Christy here? There she is. Big thank you to Christy for pulling that off. And then last but not least, a friendly Chamber of Commerce reminder that Small Business Saturday is November 29th, but we actually encourage you to shop locally all year. You don't need a special day to do it. And here's why. For every $100 spent at a local business, roughly $68 stays in the local economy. That's compared to less than 15 when you shop online. More importantly, each dollar spent multiplies up to 3 times as it's reinvested into local wages, services, and community investments. So for those folks that are hard to shop for, you can always grab a Franklin County gift card, which turns generic gift card giving into a hyper local focused community initiative, and supports local businesses with every swipe, like Sweet Lucy's. I just dropped off some receipt paper to her yesterday, and Stone Soup joined yesterday, yep. Farm Table, Hope and Olive, 4-Star, there's so many great businesses part of that program. Since launching last November, the gift card program has seen over 1,100 activations and kept nearly $50,000 in our community. So that is no small chunk of change. And if somehow that pitch wasn't convincing enough, the Chamber's Christian LaPlante, who is our downtown district coordinator through the Downtown Revitalization Project, and the working groups of Shelmer Falls and Northfield, are offering greater incentives to bop around local businesses. All you have to do is grab one of the passports. This is for Northfield. Visit the businesses listed on the inside. Do you see that? And then collect stickers, and you could win up to $2,000 in prizes. There is no purchase necessary. It's just a great opportunity to move folks around our downtown. And if everyone at this breakfast spent just $100 on holiday gifts at local businesses, we'd inject $12,000 into our local economy. So it's a great idea. A big thank you to Christian LaPlante and the downtown working groups who have spearheaded this project. All right, and now for the main event. As we know, Franklin County hangs its hat on being a community that's a really great place to farm. If you cross into any of our town lines, you're hard pressed not to see a sign that says it. Farms are the foundation of our economic landscape, and it's also, the agritourism and the farm stands and the orchards that are the reason that people fall in love with Franklin County in the first place. And it is such a privilege that we get to take advantage of that, and we get to take it for granted. And here's what I mean. As you heard earlier, I went to Stoneleigh Burnham, And a lot of my classmates were from major international cities, and for many of them, Franklin County was their first encounter with like actual rural. And what do you think impressed them the most about Franklin County? You. No, I can assure you in high school it was not. It was not me. What else? Who said cows? Yes, yes. Exactly, it was our farms. They could not believe how many cows we had. Like, it just really shocked them. And I'm not even talking about how surprised they were when I taught them that it's actually, whipped cream is produced by the fancy cows that are lucky enough to graze in the fields that have those humongous white marshmallows. So that really threw them for a loop. They were so surprised. And almost as surprised as I was when I learned that none of my new classmates ever line danced or square danced in elementary school. Like, apparently that is just a Franklin County thing. How many people here had square dancing as part of their elementary school curriculum? See, yeah, that is really special. I'm obviously a couple of years removed from my Stoneleigh days, but I still love the fascination that visitors have with our farm stands and our marshmallow fields. And I mean, I get it. We have a lot of farms. There's a lot to be excited about. Franklin County is home to more than 830 farms. It's estimated that more than 14% of the entire state's agricultural sales stem from a Franklin County farm. Last year, farms in Franklin County hired about 1,400 farm workers with a total payroll of $26.9 million. Yeah, and we can clap it up. And while today, like Jessica said, is certainly a celebration of that work, we also need to recognize how unfairly risky and difficult it has become to be a farmer. Amid shifts in federal policy, unpredictable global markets, and increased cost pressure, our farms are being asked to do more, feed more people, steward more land, adapt to more increasing extreme weather, and all with less certainty, thinner profit margins, and more volatility built into this system. If you read our latest Chamber newsletter and you saw the part where I talked about SNAP and its impact and ripple effects into our local economy, then you already appreciate that the economic health of Franklin County is directly tied to the health of our food systems. It's a challenging and uncertain moment for an industry that already forces six-figure decisions based on a 10-day forecast. They bet the farm literally on variables that no human can control, and all while working 80 hours a week so that we can spend 20 minutes thinking about which apples are the shiniest. It is a really intense kind of situation. And still, farms in Franklin County continue to rise above it all with unmatched ingenuity and resilience. Jessica talked about this as well. And that's exactly what we're here to talk about today. Today's speakers represent a full spectrum of our agricultural industry in food, and we're excited to hear from them. So with that, please help me welcome our first speaker, Executive Director of CISA, Jennifer Kaur.
Thank you for having me. This is my first breakfast, so thanks for welcoming me. Gosh, to tell you a little bit about the work of CISA, I'll tell you a little bit about my own transition to the organization just over the past many months. Many of you are likely very familiar with CISA in that we are the local hero folks promoting area farms and their products in order to build an even stronger local economy. I myself am a longtime supporter of CISA. In fact, my husband and I have been local hero members for over 15 years through our family farm right here in Franklin County. So I came into this role with some visibility into CISA's pretty incredible track record in supporting area farms in really practical and impactful ways. We do things like provide business support to farms and facilitate peer mentorship. We pay area farms to grow food for low-income seniors in our area. We support farms in adapting to climate change. And we do a lot of narrating of the nuances of agriculture to the broader community. What I've been learning much more about since I came into the inside is sort of CISA's very long-standing role as a connector. So working with others to improve the conditions that really support farming. So you might know that CISA began over 30 years ago with a group of community members who really recognized the unique value of this agrarian place. And with a little bit of grant money, that group set out to create a sustainable local food system. What I think was quite unique about that early approach and continues to inform CISA's strategy today is that that group brought together a very broad set of stakeholders, folks from the media, elected officials, the business sector, including restaurateurs and food retailers, academics, and individual community members, all coming together with farmers to really shape a new way of thinking about sort of the role of the entire community in a thriving farm and food economy. CISA's Local Hero program, our Be a Local Hero, Buy Locally Grown brand, was the very first buy local campaign in the country. Yeah. And I think 30 plus years later has proven to just be a really important lever in keeping food dollars right here and preserving an agrarian culture that has been largely lost elsewhere. We at CISA work every day to center farms sort of in our local economy. And at the same time, we're holding the long view. We are chipping away at the edges of some of the most intractable issues challenging farms in our area. So these are things like accessing farmland amid a housing crisis that's pushing land prices, navigating climate change that is not one-directional, ensuring that we have a skilled agricultural workforce, particularly in the absence of a pathway to work authorization for so many, in fact, most immigrants in our community. We are still working steadily to strike a better balance between ensuring accessibility to healthy local food for everyone in our community and also balancing that with a just and fair livelihood for farmers. We're not there yet. We have more work to do. This is complex and sometimes sticky work that really requires many collaborative steps working together towards solutions. What I'm learning is that this is actually the kind of work that CISA is really good at doing. So we are working quietly and steadily with policymakers, food system advocates, and local and regional partners to move steadily toward a future in which the role of farmers as stewards of our sort of common resources and producers of the food that we all rely on becomes the very thing that we organize our local economy and our community around. So as Jesse mentioned, we have a lot of farms in Franklin County, and those farms are small and medium-sized. And in a system that really favors large-scale, often corporate agriculture, that is something for every single one of us in this room to be proud of. Thanks.
Thank you, Jennifer. And again, I just want to emphasize, as we know, farming can be very isolating, siloed even. I didn't even write that one down. It just happened. But the role that CISA plays as a connector is so invaluable. There was a situation earlier this summer where we had a farm that was in need of support, and within 2 days, I was able to kind of get a huddle up with CISA, Natalie and Joe, Commissioner Randall, CDC, and just, it's unbelievable the way that these partners come together to support our farms. So one big round of applause for CISA, please. All right, now with a name like Courtney Basil, you might assume that she was always destined for a career in agriculture, but Courtney says she didn't intentionally plant herself at Apex Orchards. She just fell into a career for farming. So Courtney came to Apex Orchards in 2010 with a bachelor's in psychology. And today she helps lead the multi-generation orchard into its next chapter, blending tradition, innovation, and a deep love for land and community. I have been trying to get her on this panel for years, so I'm so excited she's here today. Please help me welcome Courtney.
Good morning, everyone. And thank you to Jessie for being persistent. Very, very persistent in getting me here. I'm really glad that she didn't give up on me.
Never. I'll find all of you.
She will. As Jessie mentioned, my name is Courtney Basil. I co-own and manage Apex Orchards in Shelburne on Peckville Road. Our farm has been in the same generation it's been in the same family for 7 generations. But I like to say that I am the adopted 8th generation. So I'm not breaking the generational lineage there. I'm helping to carry the work forward with just as much commitment and responsibility. I'm honored to share the farmer's perspective today alongside so many of the agricultural organizations represented here. People often ask how I found my way into farming, and honestly, it was not part of my original plan. I didn't grow up expecting to run orchards or manage crews or juggle budgets, events, or weather forecasts, but once I stepped into this work, it clicked. Farming brings together everything that I care about: community, stewardship, creativity, adaptability, and the chance to build something meaningful every single day. It's a career that finds you and it holds tight. Apex has changed a lot over the last century, and diversification is truly the reason that we're still here. Climate shifts, late freezes, market disruptions, you name it, farms feel it first. But by expanding what we do, pick your own, agritourism, events, and value-added products, we are creating stability in an unstable world. Diversification is how we survive the tough seasons while staying rooted in our community. Agritourism, in particular, has become one of our biggest strengths. When families visit for apples, peaches, or Christmas trees, when they hop on a wagon ride or come to an event, they're not just supporting Apex, they're supporting Franklin County. They stop for a coffee, they head to a local restaurant, they go shopping at a nearby restaurant or nearby stores, they visit other farms, they stay overnight. One farm visit becomes a whole day of supporting local businesses. And that partnership extends far beyond tourism. Farms like ours keep a lot of other small businesses moving. We hire local people, electricians, plumbers, contractors, mechanics, and tradespeople, because farms run on relationships just as much as they run on equipment. We supply fruit to local colleges and other local farm stands, and in return, we carry many of their products in our farm store. It's a true local economy. Money circulates, businesses grow, and everyone benefits when agriculture is strong. If there's one thing that I wish more visitors understood, it's that farming is both incredibly difficult and incredibly rewarding. What you see on a bright September afternoon is the highlight reel. Behind it are months of risk, long hours, and constant problem solving. Every tree in the orchard has been cared for countless times before it even produces a single apple that someone can pick. And sometimes, after all that, the weather wins. But we keep going because feeding people matters and this land matters. There are moments that remind us why the work is worth it. One of my favorites is watching families, sometimes 3 or 4 generations, ride the wagon together, laughing, choosing their apples, or selecting their Christmas tree. You realize that you're part of their traditions. On the other hand, challenges teach you just as much. A frost event, a labor shortage, a hurricane hitting the island where our seasonal workers live, these moments change you. They force you to adapt, innovate, and lean on your community and the organizations that support agriculture here. And that partnership is vital. Farmers cannot do this alone. While we're pruning and harvesting, planting, repairing equipment, agricultural organizations are advocating for us, helping us navigate grants, regulations, climate resilience, workforce development, marketing, and food access. They strengthen the systems that allow farms like ours to keep going. So how can the community continue to support farms like Apex and the next generation of growers? Keep showing up. Keep buying local, keep choosing local experiences. Support the organizations that fight for agriculture. Encourage young people to explore farming or food farming system careers. And remember, every time you visit a farm, buy local fruit, attend an event, or simply share your experience, you are ensuring that there is a next generation of growers. Our region's agricultural future is bright and definitely delicious when farms, organizations, and communities work together. Thank you so much for being here, and thank you for supporting local farms like ours.
See why I fought so hard to get her here. Thank you, Courtney. That's fantastic. I also, again, just want to emphasize, we talked a little bit about agritourism. You know, we serve as Franklin County Chamber of Commerce. We're also the Regional Tourism Council. And Courtney just mentioned overnight visits. It will not shock you to learn that we are primarily a day trip market just based on limited overnight accommodations. But that being said, our overnight visits increased 67% last fiscal year. We are higher than FY24 every single month. So we are continuing to see Franklin County, which we've termed undiscovered Massachusetts, become more discovered. As kind of an example of that, last year direct spend from visitors was 106 million compared to just 67 million in 2019. So we are really growing, and it is affecting our downtowns and our county in a really positive way. All right, so remember before when I was talking about my city friends who couldn't believe how many cows we had? Well, guess what? They're all getting married in barn weddings, and that is exactly what keeps our next speaker in business. Janelle is a Whately native who began her career in hospitality in 2008, working with me at Chandler's Restaurant. She joined Quanquat Farm in 2011 as the event manager and now serves as the farm's director of operations, overseeing the growth of its event program and agricultural initiatives. Please help me welcome Janelle Whipple.
Good morning. Thank you, Jessie, for the introduction. As she mentioned, my name is Janelle. I am the director at the Quanquat Farm in Whately. The Quanquat Farm has been a pick-your-own fruit orchard since the 1970s, when our peach, blueberry, and apple orchards were planted. When the current owners purchased the property in the 2000s, the vision was simple and ambitious: to continue growing wholesome, healthy fruit for local families while continuing to honor the architecture and protecting the land that we steward. Today, we still operate primarily on a pick-your-own model, with pre-picked fruit being available from our farm stand. After nearly a decade of running the orchard solely in the pick-your-own format, it became very clear that we needed an additional income stream to keep our farm thriving. That idea turned into the renovation of one of our barns, which is now our event venue. In 2009, that project began. Bathrooms, a commercial kitchen, proper lighting, and HVAC systems were added to that building. It was completed in September of 2011, just in the nick of time for our first wedding, which happened a few weeks later. Our venue now hosts up to 200 guests per event. We offer multiple ceremony sites across the farm, and we offer full-service planning assistance from our team of exceptional coordinators. They guide clients through every detail of planning and execution of their events, and they are truly a part of why we have such a successful venue. We now have a full liquor license and built a full-service farm-to-bar program, which features fruits, vegetables, herbs, and edible flowers right from our farm. But we round out that menu with local craft beers and wines from Black Birch Vineyards. And when we can't grow it ourselves, we source locally wherever possible. Our bar program was built with this in mind, and the customers that come to us respond incredibly well to this. Although most of our events are private, we make a point each year to host a handful of community-focused programs. This past summer, one of our favorites was called Caterpalooza, which was hosted with the Caterpillar Lab. They brought over 200 live caterpillar specimens that they put on display, and they let guests get up close and personal, like really close to these displays. The creatures are incredible. Guests could watch caterpillars molt under a digital microscope, and then head out on guided walks to explore the habitats across the farm. It was an event that tied together, I guess I'm really just like, what's a dad joke I can throw right here, Jessica? Knocking their shoes off, but all right. It tied together everything we value. Our event venue brings more than 7,000 people annually to the Valley. Most of these visitors that are attending weddings are coming from out of town, and as Courtney talked about, they're staying in local hotels, they're shopping in local stores, and they're eating in local restaurants. With our operations, we're also able to employ over 40 people annually in both a full-time and seasonal capacity. Over the years, we've been able to develop a beautiful relationship with our clients. These couples are marrying at Quanquap, but then they're returning with their families year after year to come back and pick fruit. We're part of their story, and they're always part of ours. They become our forever customers, and they share their love of our farm with their community as well. With these operations, we've been able to reinvest and diversify our agricultural operations. We've added a pick your own flower field and a vegetable program, both which serve our farm stand customers and our event clients. What began as a pick your own flower field has grown into a full service floral design business. Year by year, we've looked for ways for our farm systems and event systems to strengthen one another, and the result is a more resilient, more dynamic business, which leans on the surrounding community to source ingredients and products to make these businesses thrive. But balancing a working farm and a high-end event venue is not always simple. It takes a lot of thought and communication between our farm and event teams to consider how every visitor will experience the viewscape of the property. We make many very purposeful decisions about operations to navigate the unique challenges that come with the operation of these two businesses together. With teamwork, creativity, and a shared commitment to this land, we've created a place that can be enjoyed regardless of your the purpose of your visit. We truly feel privileged to live in a community that cares so deeply about local. It is certainly the only reason that we have success. In a world with so many choices, I encourage you to continue shopping local, celebrate local, embrace the way your food is grown, and spread the word. Don't just you shop, tell everybody. Farms are the fabric of the community that you live in, and they really need your support to continue their operations. So with all that said, I invite you to stop by our farm on November 29th and 30th, December 6th and 7th from 11 a.m. to 3 p.m. while we celebrate the season with our second annual holiday market. We'll have a variety of gifts and goodies for everyone on your list, so come by and say hi. Thank you.
And Janelle, will visitors of the holiday market be able to sample that bar program you were talking about?
In a hot beverage capacity.
Okay, there we go, in a hot beverage capacity. So our next speaker needs no introduction. John Waite started with the Franklin County CDC when I was still square dancing. And over the last 25 years, John has consistently kept the work of economic development grounded in community, making sure that the CDC isn't just building businesses, it's building opportunity. This year alone, and I'm sure he's going to talk about this, the Franklin County CDC served 373 clients and issued $2.38 million in loans to businesses across Western Massachusetts, helping to create 66 new jobs and preserve 185 more. We are extremely grateful for John's thoughtful leadership and for the partnership we have with the CDC. So please join me in welcoming John Waite.
Hey, thanks very much. Someone tried to say I was 40 years. It's only 25 years. I like that 40 is young, so that's good.
So young.
So I have a couple of exciting things to talk about what the CDC is doing with food and agriculture in the area. But I also want to just introduce some staff members that are here. Kawaku is our new lending director, who Jesse introduced earlier. Tracy Talbert, our racial equity, our racial justice community engagement leader, is here. And then Angela Campbell, who of course works at GCC as a vice president, just got on our board of directors last week at our annual meeting. So thanks very much. So one of the things, of course, I'm going to talk about is the Western Mass Food Processing Center. How many people have taken a tour of that? How many people know about it? Hopefully. So it's been around since 2001. Next year is the Food Center's 25th anniversary. And I want to give another shout out to Real Pickles, who was one of the first users of that center. So that's amazing. It's still going strong. And so we always keep, it's been around for a while, but we keep updating it, getting new equipment, and providing new services. One of our new services is what we call the Preserve the Valley program. And what we realize is that farmers don't want to work in the kitchen. They want to work on their farm. And so what we have a staff, Liz Buxton, our Director of Operations. She makes the recipes and the processes and does all the food safety. And the farmers just send their produce to us, and then our trained staff makes it into a shelf-stable product. And then we put it in the jar, get it on labels, get it in the boxes, get it back to the farmer, who then can sell it at their farm stand or a farmer's market or even to retail outlets. So it's another way that another revenue stream for farms. As we know, they're not making a lot of money these days, so another revenue stream, and especially extending their season, so beyond their harvest, because these shelf-stable products can last 6 months, 12 months, some of them 2 years. So that's providing a great service for them, I think. We worked with about 25 farms this last year, making things like garlic skate pesto, hot sauce, peach salsa, apple butter and apple sauce, a variety of jams, all kinds of pickled products. That's obviously a popular product. And some of them are in the gift basket today at the raffle, so we're excited to whoever wins that. The other thing I want to talk about is the CDC has been running the PV Grows investment program for the last 10 years. And I want to thank CISA as one of our main partners in that. And all of you can get involved. So we can, hopefully you all shop local, you eat local, but now you can invest local. So the PV Grows investment fund, a minimum, any individuals, businesses, organizations can make an investment as low as $500, and there's no upper limit. If you got a 2% return, and it's a 3-year term for the investment. And then the PV Grows, we pool all those funds, and then we make flexible loans to farmers. So, one of the unfortunate truths is that farms, they're not making a lot of money, and many times they have a high debt load because there's a lot of upfront capital costs associated with operating a farm. So our flexible loans are made so they can repay on according to their cash flow. So the weather events that we talked about, if something happens, we can tell them we can suspend loan payments or reduce their loan payments until they get back on their feet. So one less thing for them to worry about. The other thing we're trying to do with PV Grows is do something about equity in the food system. We heard about that. So we want to make funding available to people who haven't had opportunities in the past because of discrimination. So people of color, immigrants, indigenous people. We're working with folks like Nuestras Raíces and Holyoke, All Farmers in Springfield, World Farmers out in Worcester, and the Black Farmers Fund. So as an investor, you get to keep up with what's going on. We send a quarterly newsletter, let you know where your investments are being used, what farms and food businesses have gotten loans. And we've raised $2.5 million in the first 10 years. And we're very proud that we've actually revolved that $2.5 million 3 times. So we've made $7.5 million in loans to businesses. But we can't stop there because there's still a big demand. So we're looking for a second offering is to raise another $2.5 million. So that's where you all come in. So small investments, large investments, we want them all. And we provide loans to farms for like greenhouses, hoop houses, tractors, water systems, equipment. But we also, other players in the food system. So distributors, farm stands, and restaurants that serve local food, also a big part of it. And one of my favorite loans that we made was to a porta potty company. So farmers need to have wash stations and toilets out in the fields where their workers are. So we need these companies. And I was going over our portfolio with Kwaku, our new lending director, and I told him that the collateral we have for that loan is about 50 porta potties that are scattered around Franklin County. Well, I kind of wondered if some of our banker friends, what they think about that. But for us, it works. So I just want to encourage everybody today, again, eating local, buying local is really important, but this is an opportunity to invest local. There's not many of these funds around the country. It's very unique. So please invest your money where your values are. And where else can you taste your investments? So I want to thank all of you, and I want to thank all the farmers who bring us this food and make this region so special. Thanks very much.
Let's keep going for John Waite. 25 years of this work is no small feat. And John mentioned the Venture Center, so Silver Screen Design, is everyone familiar with Silver Screen Design, is also there. And this is a hot off the press. There may be an opportunity for you to secure your own Franklin County merch before the holidays, so stay tuned for that. We just started working with Silver Screen to get an online store up and running. So, last but definitely not least, we have Cece Yaswinski. Cece is a member of the Massachusetts Agricultural Youth Council, the Governor's Climate Council, and has been participating in Deerfield's Municipal Vulnerability Preparedness Committee, which is called MVP, to have a better understanding of how young people like her can help influence the future of farming. In her downtown, she's a junior at Deerfield Academy. So, super lazy, this one. Let's give a warm welcome to Cece.
Good morning, everyone, and thank you for inviting me. My name is Cece Yaswinski, and I'm a junior at Deerfield Academy. I'm from a fifth-generation farming family, and my farm is located on the confluence of the Deerfield Green and Connecticut rivers. Our fields are greatly impacted by climate change and the increasingly intensifying weather events. I joined the Massachusetts Agricultural Youth Council, the Governor's Climate Council, and I have been participating on Deerfield's Municipal Vulnerability Preparedness Committee, MVP, to have a better understanding of how young people like myself can help influence the future in farming. Most farms are located along river corridors and floodplains, and we are on the front lines of climate resiliency efforts. Through these experiences, I have learned how policy has direct impact on communities like ours and many more. Something I have taken away from my experience is that policy has to take into consideration the value of biodiversity of small and medium farms because biodiversity is critical to sustaining the high-quality food production. Incentives need to be built into our policies that support climate change forward practices so farmers can afford to make the changes necessary to survive in climate change. This includes no-till farming, buffers along rivers, and protection of forests in the uplands, as well as supporting irrigation infrastructure. It is important to translate what happens in Boston out into the farming communities beyond the 495 corridor and into the more rural parts of the state, and make sure they're able to connect with the resources that the legislation intends for them. The costs of equipment and other agricultural inputs have skyrocketed. Because of this, the level of cooperation between farmers has increased, and this is also another critical factor for sustainability. This is where I see the future of farming going. By working with other farms, everyone has more access to resources, you can reach more people, and we have a stronger collective voice. An example of increased cooperation among farms is when the Barstow farm came with their corn chopper and chopped our corn, which was faster and more efficient than if we had done it ourselves with our older machines. By doing this, we avoided the costs of new equipment, and Barstows are helping offset the cost of their new $1 million machine. This has to combine with small and medium farms changing their business profile to include a larger percentage of retail sales and agritourism if possible to stay sustainable. Franklin County can support this change by continuing and increasing the level of advertising of the network of farm retail outlets and encouraging the Buy Local campaign. By supporting local farms, all the dollars stay local, creating a stronger, more balanced community. The state needs to continue to financially support successful programs like MVP because the MVP grants help communities retain stormwater and improve the quality of water coming down through the watersheds, and support farm viability programs to help transition farms to the higher percentage of retail and, where applicable, support agritourism and other sustainable farming practices. The cooperative relationship between the community and farms, combined with the expansion of successful state programs, will lead to a stronger rural communities and improved food security for our Commonwealth. Thank you.
So impressive. So the future is bright. We have that figured out. Thank you, Cece, and a big thank you to all of our speakers and to everyone here who, you know, we're not just talking about it today, but lives this day in, day out. Let's give everyone a round of applause.